What is Criterion? Howdy doody, my dudes. In this video, like my previous one where I talked about what is Arrow Video, I'm going to be displaying what you can get from the various Criterion releases. This being my largest, because I don't have either the... Actually, Gamera is an Arrow Video set. Jeez, Arrow Video has a lot more stuff, don't they? They've got bigger sets like this. Anyway, I don't have the Zayoichi set or the Ingmar Bergman set, which are also just as gigantic as this. I think there's a few other ones. I think, did Agnes Varda get one as well? Yeah, so crazy big sets like this. As you can see, it's bigger than my head, with a backdrop to it as well. I've shown this off in previous videos before. It does come with a sticker that goes around the outside of it. This gives you 15 films, all Region B. You can get the Region A version as well. Of course, I chose Region B because I live in Australia, and you get your regular stuff. You get big essay talking about Godzilla. You get each open spread talks about each different film with original artwork for the film. Sorry about the light and the glare. You get all your discs in individual little lots. So there is a lot to this set in particular. But we're going to move on now to the more intimate individual sets that you can get from Criterion. Let's take a look. Paths of Glory is a Stanley Kubrick film. It is a masterpiece in filmmaking and of anti-war films. This is the standard release Criterion. There is no other release, but this is what their standard release would look like. You've got a very specifically designed plastic casing, really emphasizes the artwork. You've got your Criterion logo on the top. Right, the other side, along the edging, you have a little banner that says 1957, your year, and the Criterion Collection. And you've got an image, and of course, Paths of Glory, Kirk Douglas, directed by Stanley Kubrick. On the spine, you mostly just have the title, the Criterion logo and name, and the spine number, which is number 538. And on the back, much like most boutique things, you don't have any images, you just have details. This detailing what the film is about, what the Blu-ray special edition features are with the newly restored high-definition transfer. You've got Blu-ray edition, you got your date and your little details about it, what the Criterion Collection is, all these extra details, and just, yeah, a lot of logos and stuff as well. Region A, most of their stuff is Region A. If you're in America or any Region A country, no problem there, outside of shipping. But if you're in Australia like myself, or the UK or whatever, and you can't get a Region B version of these, which some Region B versions exist unless there are already Region B versions of the film done by other companies in that country. Say, for example, I wanted to get this Region B, I can't because there's already a different, I think Eureka Masters of Cinema did a version of this, so they had the rights to doing it in for the Region B label, at least for England, the UK. So hence I can't get this there. But I could get Godzilla because Godzilla hadn't been released in the UK, or at least the rights were gone, so Criterion could release it as a Region B Blu-ray the same day that it was released as a Region A Blu-ray, which is fucking awesome, of course. You open up your baby, and you get usually a landscape artwork at the back, nothing spectacular, just a nice image, and your Criterion disc, which usually always look very similar, an image from the film with the Criterion C, the name, title, all that jazz. And it comes with a booklet. Booklets are usually 20 to 30 pages long. This is 30 pages long. It details all your little nitty-gritties about the film itself, about the transfer, a video essay, not a video essay, just essays and stuff. So this in particular has 28 chapters for the movie. Then it has your cast, your credits. It doesn't actually say how many pages this has. It's probably not 28. In fact, it's probably less. But it just has a big essay talking about, we have met The Enemy by James Narmore. Yeah. And then you got about the transfer, special thanks, acknowledgements, and production credits. Simple stuff. That is what a standard release looks like. You got a booklet, you got your film, and that's pretty much it. It's simple as that. It's a nice little thingy. Regular thickness for a region, for any Blu-ray that you can get in the UK and Australia. Japan as well, I think. Actually, I think Japanese ones are the same as the US, where they've got a thinner one. Nevertheless, let's see what other variations of a Criterion you can get. Here we have one of my favourite sets. This and Videodrome I'm definitely going to show off. There's a lot of different ones. My favourite one of this kind of digibook is actually a Razorhead, but this one has better insides, so let me show you. So of course you got your outside. This is actually the Region B version. It's a 4K remaster. You've got your nice spine as well, which shows the whole title and the Criterion logo and all that jazz. This one's actually a little crushed because it's literally cardboard, which is the only problem about digibooks. You open up and you've got a little inside packaging, but you know, you've got your little fold out deal, and that's what a digibook looks like. Fun stuff. This is literally exactly like what a Razorhead is, except the Razorhead doesn't comes with a very thick booklet because it comes from a novel. This instead is a very interesting packaging. Yes, that is all. Okay, firstly we have a top secret letter, which is just it's double-sided, and it's a behind-the-scenes talk about the film, pretty much. There's a Playboy magazine ripoff, which is very on the nose for the film that's been made, of course. Have you ever seen a commie drink a glass of water? And this is your regular stuff. You've got little adverts. This is like a magazine, but it's still set up. It even has a... God. It has essay inside. So, like, it's got your regular stuff, but it's posed as, like, a magazine from the time. And then, of course, you've got your Holy Bible and Russian phrases. Yes. This little thing literally says... It literally is that. The first page is Russian phrases, but then the next page talks about the cast and the credits and about the restoration, special thanks, production credits. So that's again, this one's one of my favorite Criterions, just based on how cute the packaging was. Like I really had questioned whether I should get it, because the first ever Blu-ray release for this film was already a 4K remaster, so I already had the exact same remaster. Despite, I think when the 4K UHD came out last year, there was a comparison between this and the UHD. The UHD being just a little bit crisper because it's a UHD, but this one being ultimately better because it comes with all the special features, because it is a Criterion. Criterion are also well known for how well detailed not just their sets are, and having the extra booklets and stuff, but it also talks about the intimate details of the actual film with a bunch of, you know, special features on the actual disc. Why is this not going in? Right, because this thing's busted, so it's really hard to put back in the way. It's really annoying. For example, this has Blu-ray special edition features restored 4K digital transfer, alternate 5.1 soundtrack, new interviews with Stanley Kubrick scholars, excerpts from the 1966 audio interview with Kubrick, all that kind of stuff. The Videodrome one is also similar in that aspect, where it's a slipcover that has this very unique color-bound version to it. I say color-bound just because it likes to have its colors, given it is a Soderbergh film. Cronenberg. It's a Cronenberg film. I'm thinking of the other one that he did. And then this, of course, makes it look like a videotape, because it's Videodrome. It's even titled with the title like taping on a video cassette. And it comes with a very thick Very thick booklet. But that's the same kind of deal. That's the more special edition versions that you get, which I had no idea when I bought this one. I think it was this one and... no, it was just this one that came in such nice packaging. I could have gotten the Region B version, which didn't have such good packaging, obviously, and had a pretty image. I think that was actually the Arrow Video version, but I decided to get this instead. Obviously, a very iconic one would be number 2, Seven Samurai. This one's a regularly bit thicker one. It actually includes images from the film. Very rare for a Criterion. And this is the same kind of deal. Open up, you get a very thick booklet. This is probably, again, another 20 to 30 page book. Doesn't have numbers on it, so I'm not going to go into detail. And it's a 2-disc set, because of course it is a 3-hour-long film, and then the extra disc is supplementary features. So it's a very nice set. So, is there anything else in terms of what you could potentially get from a Criterion? The simple answer is no. That's all that they have. I'd say Arrow Video has the more variation in terms of having the hard case that are limited edition. You get the poster, you get all that kind of stuff. And then you get its standard case with it. And then you can get the box sets, and then you get the bigger box sets, however it goes. Even the standard editions sometimes have slip covers and whatever. Criterion is different to some degree. Similar enough, but they like to utilize a different style of case to Arrow Video and regular Blu-rays as a whole. And they also use digibooks a lot. The digibooks being usually the paper thin, well, not paper thin, but like, you know, cardboard styled. Very rarely do you get slip cases. Videodrome is probably one of the only exceptions I've seen to that. A lot of the slip cases are for the digibooks themselves, so hence, you know, Seven Samurai, Doctor Strangelove, you will get that digibook element, but you'll be able to actually slide out the digibook, so you do get a slipcover to it, which makes a lot of sense. But they do put in so much effort. Like, not to diss Arrow Video, but in comparison, Arrow Video will usually, in their more deluxe sets, will obviously have a lot more stuff. But Criterion still have that kind of detail. They just have a little variations. Like, with obviously Videodrome and Doctor Strangelove, you've got a lot more fun to it, because they obviously understand what the property is, and they're able to toy around with it. Much like how Tremors in the previous video for Arrow Video had that little coupon for Walter Chang's supermarket, you know. It makes sense that they've obviously put in this little bit of extra effort to make it very unique. And I really like that about it, for both of them, because I don't prefer one over the other, to be completely fair. Maybe I'd prefer Criterion because they have a lot of David Lynch films, and that's probably all I can say about that. Like, and even, like, say, because David Lynch is my favourite director, they have all of his films, they have a bunch of, well, not all of his films, they have a lot of his films, all of them being in digibook format, with the simple slide out a digibook, and the book, but it's not really a digibook, it's kind of a digibook, it just comes with a book. So it's technically a digibook, but not really, because digibooks are more like this one here, the Spartacus one. This is like a universal release where you've got the disc on one side, which in this case is actually the 4K disc that I bought separately, and it comes with the book plastered into it, and that's literally what it means. It's a digibook. So that's similar enough, but of course for Criterion you can take out the book, whereas this one you can't. There are some Criterions which I haven't shown. One is... how far away is it? Dead. Oh, there it is. Night of the Living Dead. This one, which I really wish I had have gotten the Region B, is a digibook version with beautiful artwork. Like, honest to God, look at that. It is exceptional. And the Night of the Living Dead, the double disc set. I actually haven't watched this version yet, because I've only seen the film once. Yeah, saw it on TV a few years back. I bought this 4K restored version, but they do have this final variation where it comes with a poster. And the poster is, of course, a big essay. I do like when they do that too. I wouldn't personally post this up on my wall, because like a lot of people would frame posters, but then this one I'd prefer to keep it with its set. Depends on how unique the poster is and if I'd want to put that up on the wall, but it is really cool. As a collector's thing, I probably wouldn't, but it's still a nice set. And look, as an overall, I think Criterion is really well done. I think they're fantastic. I think it's fantastic to have both Criterion and Arrow Video around. Two different elements of the market. One, mostly geographically speaking, one's in the US and Canada, one's in the UK. So, of course, the UK, you get the Region B stuff, which, of course, Region B locked. Everyone in America's like, oh, but I want it to be Region A or Region 3. Some of them do come Region A and B or A and C. Mostly, they're all Region B, though. I don't mind, because as I know, I'm in Australia, I can't say I don't mind, because I don't have to worry about that. I'm in a Region B country anyway. But I have to deal with this, Region A. So what I did, I bought a Region 3 player. And in this case, it's actually a 4K UHD player, so I can watch any Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K on it, which, of course, 4K is Region 3 anyway. But you just gotta invest a bit more money, and bada boom, it's easy. Region 3 players used to be a lot harder to get. They're a lot easier to get these days. So yes, Criterion do have those bigger sets with the Ingmar Bergman set and the Godzilla set. Me only having the Godzilla one, which is still fucking gigantic. But it's like its own piece of mantelpiece artwork to begin with. Like, literally sits there on a mantle. Well, it's not a mantle, it's a piano, but still. And nevertheless, that is pretty much my opinion on the Criterion and what you can get. There is probably other variations that I'm slightly missing out on. They don't have steelbook releases, which might be a criticism for some people. But I like how they have digibooks instead. Digibooks and steelbooks are almost the same thing, but literally practically the polar opposites. They can both come with booklets and have all the discs, and whatever extra bonus stuff comes inside. But of course, one's made of cardboard and one's made of metal and plastic. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd prefer Criterion do steelbooks. Arrow Video does steelbooks, but they do box sets, and they do limited edition sets, they do regular standard editions, they do a lot of stuff. But yeah, look, I just like how these brands have evolved to that degree, that they're actually making bigger sets, that they're changing up how their sets are done, and it's really cool, and it's really nice. Again, another one of my favorites as well being the Before trilogy, which is obviously way up there, so I'm not going to bring down and get it, but it's the same digibook format. It's a trilogy set, and the second and third film are very thin. The first one's much bigger, because the first one also includes the big-ass book that talks about the whole trilogy. And, yeah, that's all I have to say about the Criterion Collection. What do you think of the Criterion Collection, how they display their Blu-rays? Do you have a favourite type? Would you prefer they make steelbooks over digibooks, or however it be? If you haven't checked it out, check out my Arrow video on this stuff. I also plan to be doing a Eureka Cinema soon, and then I'll probably do other things. So thanks again so much for watching. If you haven't checked out my Criterion Collection video, I have two, because it's a two-parter that I did January last year. They'll be in the description down below and on screen, and in my premium playlist, which will also be probably on screen if my Arrow Video one isn't instead. So that'll also be listed down below, because I obviously have a collection which you can go watch. Outside of that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Adios.